I've got a friend on one of the forums, goes by Ridge Runner, that had some questions about the Tarsacci and hitting sub-gram gold nuggets and some various other things. And I told him I would try to do a little video since he doesn't have his Tarsacci anymore. He was particularly interested in how the Tarsacci would perform on sub-gram gold, and also the new Rutus Versa, how well it would do. So I've got those two, and I've also got the Legend out here. As many know that run the Legend, who actually do gold prospecting, it does very, very well. Of course, I don't have gold here in East Texas, but there's people that are using the Legend. I don't know of anybody that uses the Versa. It doesn't have a dedicated gold mode, but it does very well on tiny targets. It and the Legend both will find things smaller than I really care to dig. Anything smaller than a 22 short bullet, which is 29 grains, so about 2 grams. I really don't care to dig anything any smaller than that. So what I've got set up, since I have never gold prospected, I just know what I've read. That's a 0.6 gram lead flake. It's flattened, it's kind of triangular shaped. It's 2 inches deep in this 4-bar on the Legends mineral scale red dirt. There's some hot rocks in there, but overall this is typical of what I hunt in. Probably much milder dirt than actual gold field conditions, but that's what I can come up with, and it's kind of interesting. Doesn't really hold a lot of value to me other than just seeing how the detectors react on very small, relatively low conductor targets. So on the Tarsacci, I've already got it set up in 18 kilohertz. I've got the threshold at 0, so that's as hot as it gets. Disc at 0, so it's gonna not have the irons tone on the disc mode. Sensitivity is 8, that's 1 notch below max. The ground balanced at 794, so relatively hot ground. The ground's not conductive at all. The salt's set at 1. Black sand's off, tracking's off. It does okay. I'm using the big beast coil because it actually works much better with the Tarsacci. It really brings the Tarsacci up a couple of notches above what the stock original 11x9 oval coil was. I've tried it also. It doesn't do as well as the big coil. And one of the things I've tried to explain on the forums to Chuck and in general is the Tarsacci is not a VLF detector. The MDT technology is more than that. It's not PI, it's not VLF, it's kind of a hybrid, and it does some really strange and amazing things. Every time I get out and hunt with it, it surprises me in finding something that really shouldn't have been found. It was too compromised. The Tarsacci, in the way it's designed, needs to see the dirt matrix. It needs that baseline to be able to differentiate when you come across a good target. It needs that contrast. So if you find a target and try to hone in on it, it will lose it sometimes. It's got to have a fuller sweep to see the difference between the ground, including any iron contamination, and the good target. Hopefully we can hear this, but that's 2 inches deep on that little 0.6 gram piece of lead. So it's hitting it. I'm in mixed mode, so the all metal hits it every time. And you can hear the disc ping. The ID's not any good, but the Tarsacci just doesn't give good IDs. You have to go by the tone. This way's better. So yeah, it will hit it. If this is all you had to go prospect with, you wouldn't be in too bad a shape. You can find something. I remember that there was a good bit of discussion early on when the Tarsacci first came out on the Dankowski forum. NASA Tom, who had a hand in developing the Tarsacci with Dimitar, stated that they actually detuned it to some extent on small targets because it was hitting too small targets to be practical. That was mostly in a saltwater beach hunting scenario. So it does hit it. Chuck was also asking about the Versa. The Versa does really well. Again, it will dig targets smaller than I care to dig if I let it. I've got the Hot Rocket 30. Makes a big difference in the minerals. I'm in Park multi-frequency low conductor. Reaction is instead of be 22, 0 disc, reaction 3. Small coin boost is maxed out. These are my normal hunting conditions. 0 iron filter, 0 bottle cap. I'm in pitch tones. Better re-ground balance it. .4. So it's stable. So it hits it. Not super good. Decent ID. Decent target graph. This side's better. So I would say you could nugget hunt with the Versa without any trouble and do quite well. The Legend, this is with a V1.17 LG24 coil. Goldfield multi-frequency. I've already ground balanced it. 25. It barely, no real response there. So it hits it fine. The ID's not very good, but in minerals the Legend doesn't give necessarily good IDs. I do have the DT on 6. If I go to 20 kilohertz and still in Goldfield mode, it still hits it but not as good. And 40, that's almost as good as multi. .22 sensitivity. So, for whatever it's worth, there's how those 3 detectors do on this little piece of lid at 2 inches deep. You know, that's smaller than anything I want to dig on a relic site. Unless it's a piece of gold, and that's not likely. So hopefully that answers your questions, Chuck. Gives you something to ponder. But keep in mind, the Tarsacci is not a VLF, and it's got to see the dirt to find the good contrast targets. That's why the small coil hasn't been introduced. It just probably wouldn't work very well with the small coil. That bigger coil works better than the stock original coil, which is slightly smaller. It really woke the Tarsacci up, and it's really all I ever use. So anyway, hope that's interesting to some folks. Thank you for watching.